Have you ever found yourself lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering why sleep feels so elusive these days? Maybe your mind keeps replaying the day's events, or you wake up multiple times in the night without any clear reason. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. As we age, our sleep patterns naturally shift. Nights can feel longer and less restful, and mornings can arrive with a heavier sense of fatigue than they used to. But what if I told you that a simple, 10-minute routine before bed could transform your nights, and it's something anyone can do, no matter your age? I know how frustrating sleepless nights can be. I used to think I'd just have to accept tossing and turning as part of getting older. But one evening, after weeks of feeling drained, I decided to experiment with a new approach, a short, deliberate routine designed to signal my body that it was time to rest. Within days, I noticed a difference. I fell asleep faster, stayed asleep longer, and woke up feeling genuinely refreshed. It was life-changing. In this video, I want to share that 10-minute evening routine with you. We'll explore not just the steps themselves, but why they work, the science and psychology behind them, and how you can adapt them to your own lifestyle. This isn't about complicated gadgets or expensive products. It's about small, intentional actions that prepare your body and mind for restful sleep. Let's start with the first step, creating a gentle wind-down environment. Our modern lives are full of stimulation, bright lights, notifications, background noise. When it's time to sleep, our brains need cues to transition from active mode to rest mode. About an hour before bed, I dim the lights in my home, turn off screens, and create a quiet space. It's amazing how much impact this simple action has. The dim lighting signals your brain that it's time to slow down, and turning off screens reduces the blue light that interferes with melatonin production, the hormone responsible for regulating sleep. Next is a brief period of mindfulness or gentle breathing exercises. Even just a few minutes of deep, intentional breathing can help calm the nervous system. I like to sit comfortably, close my eyes, and take slow, steady breaths, inhaling for a count of 4, holding for a count of 4, exhaling for a count of 6. This pattern naturally lowers your heart rate and tells your body, it's okay to relax now. You'd be surprised how effective this is for quieting racing thoughts and reducing nighttime anxiety. The third element I include is light stretching or simple movement. After decades of moving in a certain rhythm, our bodies can carry tension without us noticing. Gentle stretches release that tension and signal the body that it's time to unwind. I focus on areas where tension accumulates most: shoulders, neck, lower back. You don't need a yoga mat or fancy poses. Even reaching your arms overhead, twisting gently, or rolling your shoulders can make a difference. Movement combined with deep breathing prepares both body and mind for sleep, creating a sense of physical and mental closure for the day. These first 3 steps, dimming lights, mindful breathing, and gentle stretching, usually take about 5 to 6 minutes. They form the foundation of my routine, but the final few minutes are just as important. I take a moment to reflect on the day with gratitude. This isn't about listing everything you did wrong or worrying about tomorrow. It's about acknowledging positive moments, no matter how small. Maybe someone smiled at you, you enjoyed a good meal, or you finished a small task that felt meaningful. By focusing on gratitude, your mind shifts away from stress and overthinking, moving toward calmness and contentment, the perfect mental state for sleep. I also like to incorporate a brief visualization or intention-setting practice. With my eyes closed, I imagine a peaceful scene, a quiet beach, a forest path, or simply lying in bed feeling completely relaxed. Then, I set a gentle intention for the night, like I will sleep deeply and wake feeling refreshed. This small mental ritual signals to your subconscious that rest is coming and that it's safe to let go of tension and control. Together, these steps form a simple, 10-minute routine. First, create a calming environment. Second, practice mindful breathing. Third, move gently to release tension. Fourth, reflect on gratitude. And fifth, visualize peaceful sleep and set intentions. What makes it powerful is the combination. It addresses both body and mind, giving them clear signals that it's time to rest. Even in the first week, I noticed subtle changes. I felt less restless when I lay down, and the time it took to drift off decreased significantly. Over time, the effects compounded: deeper sleep, fewer awakenings during the night, and mornings that started with energy rather than grogginess. Perhaps most importantly, it became a ritual I looked forward to, a small but meaningful pause at the end of each day. Now that we've covered creating a calming environment, mindful breathing, and gentle stretching, the next part will explore the final steps in the routine: gratitude, visualization, and intention setting, along with tips for making this routine stick long-term and adapt it to your unique life. And feel that these insights are meaningful. Please type number 2 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to do so, and don't forget to turn on the bell, so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos designed to uplift, inform, and inspire. Your support truly means a lot. It's what keeps us going and allows us to continue sharing thoughtful, helpful content just for you. Now, let's continue this journey together. Now that we've laid the foundation with dimming lights, mindful breathing, and gentle stretching, let's explore the next steps of the routine and how to make them a natural part of your evenings. These middle steps focus on shifting your mind from the busyness of the day to a state of calm readiness for sleep, which is especially important as we age. The first of these steps is reflecting on gratitude. I know it might sound simple, even a little cliché, but its impact is profound. After a lifetime of work, family responsibilities, and daily routines, it's easy to let the small joys go unnoticed. Gratitude shifts your focus from stress, worries, and unfinished tasks to positive aspects of your day. For example, maybe a neighbor smiled at you as you walked to the mailbox, or perhaps you had a few peaceful minutes with a cup of tea. Acknowledging these moments, just a sentence or two in your mind or written in a small notebook, signals to your brain that the day has had meaning and value. Over time, this practice reduces anxiety at night and primes your mind for restful sleep. Next comes intentional visualization. Once your body is relaxed and your mind is in a grateful state, I like to imagine a calm, serene scene. It might be a quiet beach with waves gently lapping at the shore, a forest path with sunlight streaming through the trees, or even lying in a cozy bed with soft blankets and a warm glow in the room. The point is to create a mental picture that evokes safety, calmness, and relaxation. Your brain responds to these mental cues, activating a sense of peace that makes it easier to fall asleep naturally. A small addition that I've found incredibly effective is setting a gentle intention for the night. I keep this short and simple, something like, "I will rest deeply tonight," or "I will wake feeling refreshed and energized." These intentions aren't about controlling sleep or pushing yourself to fall asleep immediately. Instead, they tell your subconscious that it's okay to let go, that sleep is the natural next step. With consistent practice, this tiny ritual reinforces a healthy sleep pattern, reducing racing thoughts or worry that can keep you awake. At this point in the routine, your body is relaxed from stretching, your mind is calm from breathing and gratitude, and your mental landscape is peaceful from visualization and intention setting. The last component of this middle phase is a brief digital detox. Even if you've turned off bright lights earlier, it's helpful to completely step away from screens for the last few minutes before bed. Avoid checking emails, social media, or news. The goal is to protect your brain from new stimulation. If you enjoy reading, a short passage from a favorite book or some light, calming material can replace screen time, something that enriches your mind but doesn't provoke stress or alertness. Consistency is key here. When I first started this routine, I occasionally skipped steps, thinking that a shorter version would be enough. But I quickly noticed that the nights I went through all 5 components were significantly more restful than nights I skipped even one. Over time, the process became automatic, a comforting ritual signaling the end of the day, and my body and mind learned to recognize it as the perfect prelude to sleep. Another tip is personalizing the routine to fit your lifestyle. For example, if gentle stretching in bed feels more comfortable than on the floor, that's perfectly fine. If visualizing a walk in the park resonates with you more than a beach scene, go with that. The beauty of this routine is its flexibility. The principles remain the same: calm the body, quiet the mind, and signal readiness for rest. I also like to integrate a soothing scent or sound at this stage. A lavender pillow spray, chamomile tea aroma, or gentle background sounds like rainfall or soft music can enhance relaxation. These sensory cues become associated with sleep over time, strengthening the mind-body connection that signals it's time to rest. One of my friends, Margaret, a fellow retiree, struggled with waking up multiple times at night. She adopted a similar evening routine, focusing on breathing, gratitude, and visualization. Within a week, she noticed fewer interruptions in her sleep and a more refreshed feeling in the morning. She even added her own variation, a 30-second hand massage with scented lotion, which further enhanced her relaxation. Her experience shows that even small, personalized tweaks can make the routine more enjoyable and effective. By this point, your body is relaxed, your mind is calm, and your environment supports rest. If you maintain this practice consistently, you'll find that your sleep quality improves steadily, not just the ability to fall asleep, but staying asleep through the night and waking up with more energy. The combination of physical relaxation, mental calm, and sensory cues primes your nervous system for the deep restorative sleep that's often elusive as we age. Now that we've explored gratitude, visualization, intention setting, digital detox, and sensory cues, the next part will cover the final steps of the routine, including reflection, fine-tuning for individual needs, and maintaining long-term consistency to ensure these 10 minutes continue to transform your sleep night after night. Now that we've covered the middle steps, gratitude, visualization, intention setting, digital detox, and sensory cues, it's time to focus on the final pieces of the routine that ensure your sleep truly transforms and remains consistent over time. These last steps tie everything together and help create a sense of closure for the day, which is especially important as we age. One of the final steps I practice is a brief reflection on the day. This isn't about critiquing yourself or worrying about what went wrong. Instead, I take a minute or two to acknowledge what went well. Perhaps I completed a small task I'd been putting off, enjoyed a meaningful conversation with a friend, or simply took the time to appreciate a quiet moment. Reflecting in this way reinforces a positive mindset, which research shows can improve sleep quality. When your mind is focused on calm and positive thoughts rather than stress or regret, your body can fully relax, making it easier to drift into restorative sleep. Another powerful addition to the routine is preparing your environment for the night. This may include adjusting your bedroom temperature, ensuring your bedding is comfortable, and making sure the room is quiet. Even small adjustments, like turning on a white noise machine or lightly closing the curtains, can make a significant difference. Over the years, I've noticed that when these environmental cues are in place, I sleep more soundly and wake up feeling more refreshed. It's a simple step, but it signals to your body that the night is meant for rest. Consistency is the key to making this routine truly transformative. Initially, it might feel like an extra task, but over time, these 10 minutes become a comforting ritual. Think of it as a gift you give yourself, a pause at the end of the day that honors your body, your mind, and your well-being. When I first committed to this routine, it was a little unusual for me to spend that time deliberately winding down. But once I experienced the improvement in my sleep and energy levels, I realized that those 10 minutes were among the most valuable parts of my day. It's also important to remember that routines can be flexible and personalized. Maybe some evenings you spend an extra minute stretching, or other nights you focus more on visualization or journaling. The key is that each part of the routine addresses relaxation, mental calm, and readiness for sleep. Your body will begin to recognize these signals, and even small variations won't disrupt the overall effect. Over time, this 10-minute routine can have broader impacts beyond just sleep. I've noticed I feel more patient in the mornings, my mood is more stable, and I carry less tension throughout the day. The routine acts like a reset button, not only for sleep but for overall well-being. When I wake up refreshed, I have more energy for exercise, social interactions, and hobbies that bring joy, which creates a positive cycle that enhances both physical and mental health. Another helpful tip is tracking your progress. I like to make a small note in my journal each morning about how I slept the previous night, whether I fell asleep easily, stayed asleep, and how I felt upon waking. Over weeks and months, this helps you see patterns, understand what works best for you, and make small adjustments as needed. It's motivating to witness how consistent practice improves your sleep, and it can help you fine-tune the routine to fit your lifestyle perfectly. Before we wrap up, I want to emphasize that small, consistent actions have the power to create big changes. It doesn't matter if you're 60, 70, or even 80, the body and mind respond beautifully to care, attention, and intention. This 10-minute routine is simple, but it works because it addresses the core elements of restful sleep, calming the nervous system, signaling readiness for rest, and reinforcing positive mental states. If you try this routine, I encourage you to notice even the tiniest improvements, falling asleep a few minutes faster, waking up a little more refreshed, or simply feeling more relaxed at bedtime. These small wins add up quickly, and over time, your sleep can become deeper, more restorative, and far more enjoyable. I'd love to hear from you. If you decide to try this 10-minute evening routine, share your experience in the comments below. Did it help you fall asleep faster? Did you wake up feeling more rested? Your insights can inspire others who are struggling with similar challenges. And if you found these tips helpful, please like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future advice on improving sleep, health, and overall well-being. Remember, taking just 10 minutes to wind down each night can completely change the way you sleep and how you feel every day. Here's to creating peaceful nights, refreshed mornings, and a life filled with energy and calm, no matter your age. Sleep well, and take care of yourself, because you truly deserve it.